Welcome back everyone, it's your favorite artist Susan, and today I have a very special video. We are going to be unboxing $140 glow paints. And if you're wondering why I'm spending $140 on glow paints, it's because I only use the best of the best for my work. But no, on a serious note, I'm actually currently working on a big project for the Philadelphia Esports Center, TAP Esports. I'm doing giveaway free commission for them. I'm working on a piece that's going to be 3 characters. It's going to be the KDA Akali, Overwatch Tracer, and the Tilted Technique Fortnite girl. And that's this painting right here. Obviously it's not painted, but I have the outlines done. The reason why I decided to do all 3 of them is because I'm kind of going for kind of like a neon-esque graffiti grungy vibe, and they all have similar skins. So that's going to be a big project that's coming up, but that's not what the video is about. I'm actually kind of making a smaller segment of trying to see if whether or not, you know, these paints live up to the reputation. So without further ado, let's get into the box. But before we get into the box, let's talk a little bit about the artist. So this box here was created by an artist called Crisco. You may know him on YouTube as Crisco Arts. He's probably the best in his field for glow-in-the-dark paints. I'll be honest, I didn't hear about him until probably until after I started this project. I was looking for the best glow-in-the-dark paints because I know their kind of reputation as being not very good, overly expensive, and that they're just temporary, and I'm just looking for a long-lasting glow. And when I found him on YouTube, I was kind of watching his videos, and I saw that his paints and also his paintings, they seem to be very iridescent and long-lasting, so I was convinced. So I did some research and I went into the website, and you know, I can't really say that it's unbiased. It's very biased. It seems more of like he's self-promoting himself, and I can't really find a lot of tutorials or like really in-depth descriptions of his paints or like his products. So I decided to do that for you guys. I kind of splurged on these paints, and hopefully it's not a hit or miss. Hopefully, you know, it was a good investment, but you know what, it's better for me to find out and for you to know than vice versa. If you're wondering why this tesseract of a package looks like this, it's because glow-in-the-dark paints have a very specific way of being packaged. They have to be in certain temperatures, can't be too hot, can't be too cold, and also they need to be in a very dark, cool place. I recommend, if you're going to get these paints, make sure that you keep them in this package and be careful when you handle with them, just because you're spending so much money on them that you want to make sure they last as long as possible, and also it prevents them from losing their glow effect. Obviously, you're gonna need some extra things, which I recommend. You're gonna need a UV flashlight. Sorry if I blinded you, but this is gonna be important for when you're charging up your paints. Since when do we live in a generation now where you have to charge up your paints? But and also you're gonna need this little thingy. I don't know what it's called, but this little pitchfork of a thing, or in general some sort of I don't know what you call them, like plier.
It's like a crowbar.
You're gonna need a mini crowbar, and you're gonna have to pop up the lid. The way that you open it is gonna be on the top face. You're gonna see the little emblem here where it says Crisco's Art, and very on top right here, make sure it's facing forward. You can pop it off. I already pre-popped it because it's kind of hard. I was struggling. So you're gonna pop it open like that, take off the lid, and then you have instructions, and we don't read instructions. No, just kidding. So obviously the one that I have is called Crisco Rainbow Glow. They have, I think, 3 selections. I think there's the white glow, the rainbow glow, and I think the deluxe, which comes like with like I think like 3 times the amount of this, but I'm not really looking for that much, so I only got the rainbow glow, so that's why it's 140. I think the white glow was like $40, so I'm guessing individually they're probably like 30-40 bucks, which is a steep buy. But yeah, so the manual says just kind of like an introduction as to what his work, what his glow paints are and stuff. Like you can see right here, that's him, this European man, and it's kind of cool. He created his own paints because, you know, like he wanted to work with glow in the dark paints, but they don't really have a good product right now, so he created his own, which I kind of respect. But I do think it's a little bit expensive. Oh, they even have spray paints too, which is cool. Who knows, maybe we'll do a Crisco glow in the dark spray paint video. So inside there are 6 vials, and I'll be honest, they're freaking tiny. Like, they're smaller than my makeup foundation.
What a ripoff!
I mean, from first appearance, but dude, they have some sort of awful smell. It's really bad. But from first appearance, it does look kind of homemade-ish. It's got like a pretty generic tag on it. It's kind of cool. It's got its own design on it, but it's just basic, you know. It's just about what's inside. Honestly, they don't care. Obviously, it doesn't look like he cares about really the packaging. The box is cool, but you know, I was expecting a little bit more professional packaging from something so expensive, but I guess the product itself maybe is hard to make, so maybe that's why. But let's open it up and see what it looks like inside. From the way it looks, I think it's grainy, so I'm gonna shake it up. Make sure you always shake your paints because you don't know how long they've been on the shelf. So just so it keeps consistency. And there's an air bubble. Okay, so obviously right now it just looks like pastel purple. So I couldn't tell you if they glow or not. But apparently if you put them with UV lights, they charge up. So we'll try that out. But I just wanted to show you what the vials look like. There's purple, blue, green, orange, yellow, and my favorite, pink. Oh no, red, because it's rainbow. Don't forget to make sure you buy a UV flashlight. It won't work with regular flashlight. It's basically a black light flashlight, you know, the kind that they use in like CSI to see all those, you know, little white spots. But so yeah, it glows like a bluish purple, but it was about 15 bucks.
12 bucks.
12 bucks. It was about 12 bucks. So it's not that cheap because it's a flashlight, but it definitely is useful. So make sure you get this, because if you don't, it's actually recommended in his instructions from when I read it to use it, because you won't get that amazing glow that you see in his videos unless you have this. Welcome to the magic show segment. This is where we're gonna start charging up some paint. Get your charger. Oh, dude, that's dope.
Make sure you do it like in a 360 circumferential like aspect, you know?
Yeah. So basically, these paints, they're light reactive. All glow paints are. And charging them with a UV ray, they basically capture the light and kind of maintain it. But just like a battery, they lose their charge. So you have to constantly, well, you know, every so often, kind of refreshing them. You know what they say, that a little light never hurt nobody is really used here.
You should grab them and from the bottom, stick it close to the lens.
Oh yeah, let's see what happens if I do that.
Oh my god. Turn off the flashlight. Turn off the flashlight.
Ooh.
Oh, that's
see that? Instant.
It's gotta be like super close to it. So you're probably
Instant.
gonna have to do the UV right after you like paint it on. And shower it just like really close to the painting after it dries, maybe.
Yeah, I'm actually way more impressed by this now, because I was kind of worried that the light will be very dull. But I've seen some reviews and I don't think they did it properly, because they weren't really charging it up, to be honest. So
shake it up, maybe.
Maybe.
Shake it up
I think the glow. Remember, you gotta shake these vials. Was it like? That's where we put rave music.
Yeah. So you might.
Yeah. So I don't
need
know.
to get like a palette or something to stir it up, because I think like the glow chemicals like just sunk to the bottom.
Maybe. So I already pre-shaken all the bottles and I kind of did the initial charge up. So let's open the bottles and pour them onto the palette and see how they look. Let's go with purple first. So first we have purple. I'm just gonna put a little bit, guys, because oh, it's pouring. Ooh, there we go. So, as you from the initial pour, I'm actually really liking it. The number one thing I have issues with paint is that it's too runny, and you know, even though I did shake it up, I noticed that it's very opaque. It looks very viscous, so it's of good quality, I'm hoping. Almost like glue, which I would imagine is probably because of the chemicals inside of it. But we won't know until we turn off the lights and see what ends up happening. Let's make it a light show. Dude, I feel like I'm in CSI.
Who was the murderer?
Was it the purple?
Or is it the camera guy with no face?
Dude, okay. I don't know if you guys can see this, but my eyes are actually getting blinded by how bright this is. It literally
shining UV on white. The white's reflecting.
I know, but I'm just saying, like that orange is hurting my eyes.
And let's see what happens.
Okay, let's turn it off. And whoa, there we go.
That is sick. There you go.
So obviously, you definitely need a UV flashlight for this, otherwise it will not work. So basically it's just charging up the paints, and it's like magic. There you go, captures the light. So I don't know what anybody was saying in the other reviews, that it doesn't seem to be glowing. Obviously on canvas it may look differently, but by the product itself it gets an A+. It is very bright. I would say maybe the light doesn't last as long and you have to constantly charge it.
I think what we gotta do is grab like a mixer and shake it up in there, because I feel like
there's the pigment.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I believe that the glow in the dark chemical is all the way at the bottom.
All right. Please keep in mind that these paints have to be in certain conditions for them to work at the optimal conditions. It needs to be in the darkest room as possible. For the sake of this video, we're not in the darkest room. We tried our best, but we do have sheer curtains, so they kind of let some of the light in. That's why it's kind of like a reddish tint. But other than that, the place that I'm making this canvas painting for is going to be in an esports gaming center, and their business is very dark. Everything's neon, but the entrance is very dark, so it should be fine. But you know, this is just an initial test run to see how they look, and even without being in the most optimal conditions, it is still very bright. So let's go ahead and put this on the canvas and see what happens. So the first color I'm gonna grab is the purple, and we're gonna work from right to left. Okay, so initially what I noticed, it's very much like a glaze. So this is not a paint to be used to really kind of make things opaque at all. There is mainly just a glaze over, which is good because I already have some acrylic paints, so I could imagine this being really good on top of acrylics and tempera paint, which is, it's decent. It's very sheer. Obviously, with glow paints, they kind of they work better as you keep layering. So you would let this dry, go over it maybe 3 or 4 times, and then it would be even brighter and, you know, more opaque. For the sake of this box review, I'm just gonna do one just so you guys can see. The color itself, it's very pastel in the daylight, from what I can tell, but I can still tell that it's purple, so that's a good thing. I was worried that I might put it on and I can't even tell what color it is. So let's clean the brush and let's get on with the other colors. And there you have it. I have all the colors out onto the canvas, so now all we have to do is turn off the lights and see what it looks like. So we're gonna turn off the lights, and then I'm gonna charge up the paints and see how it looks on the canvas. What the? Looks like we're looking for fingerprints. Dude, that's crazy. So off camera, I did a second layer because I noticed that some of them were very, very light, concerningly light. So from what I can tell, you have to work with layers. I don't know what's wrong with the orange right now. I don't know if it's maybe a false product or faulty product, or I just have to really thoroughly mix it. I went ahead and used my brush to mix it, but I'm probably gonna have to get a mixer and really thoroughly mix this, because it looks like the pigment is kind of stuck in the bottom, maybe because it's been on the shelf for very long. But from what I can see, the colors, they are sort of true to what the vials look like. You know, you can see that there's purple here, blue here, green and yellow basically look kind of similar, but that's really because the natural glow of glow-in-the-dark paints are kind of greenish. So
yeah, the camera isn't really doing it much justice either right now, because like I'm looking at it in person and it's very vibrant still, but like in the camera it's not popping out.
Yeah, because camera also absorbs light, and like we said, we're not really in the most suitable conditions for this. Red, obviously it's better obviously with the UV light. You can see that the colors are way more vibrant, and it does say on the package that it's supposed to be used with UV. It's not meant to be glow in the dark, like in the dark.
In dark backgrounds.
In dark backgrounds, just because they require light.
And dark backgrounds as in like dark colors on the canvas.
Yeah, and we also figure that the reason why the light's not showing as well is because we're using a white canvas, and usually white will absorb light, making it, you know, kind of not as bright as it should be, while dark black backgrounds, they kind of reflect light, so it kind of doesn't absorb it. So
and the canvas isn't primed either, so
yeah, so it's kind of rough, so that's why you can't really you can see all of these things. And you know, we would have gone ahead and done all those things, but we just wanted to get a really quick unboxing video out for you guys on this. And we came up with the initial idea of using glow-in-the-dark paints, obviously with the hopes of making it more neon-esque, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be very bright neon unless I do multiple layers, maybe 4, 5, 6 layers. So the product itself seems to be very tedious from what I've seen, and I can't 100% disagree that some of the reviews that I found online were incorrect. Some of them were complaining about it being very faded, and that you can't see the color, or you can't tell the difference. Obviously I can't really tell the difference between red and orange, but if you know anything about glow-in-the-dark pigments, they all have technically the same base color, and then they're just accented by like a tint. So when you use the glow-in-the-dark pigment, it's gonna have that kind of neon yellow green tech color, so that's why you can see it here in the purple. There's that like yellow streak. It's just a matter of how much you mix and how much you put. But also remember that these are mixable with other colors, so I do plan on, when I'm in my painting, I'm gonna mix them with the pigments of acrylic. So who knows, maybe they'll give it a stronger base and it'll show up more, or who knows, maybe I'll lose more color. But this is mainly the reason why we made this video, so you guys can really see firsthand as to how they look. I will give this product a 7 out of 10 right now, maybe a 6.5. Obviously I'm not going to be disheartened by the fact that it was $140. I definitely do think it was very overpriced for what the end result is, but like I said, you can't do a full review until you've made the actual product. So once I get the painting done, we will do a follow-up video as to how it looks, and also you can be able to see my process. This is the first time I really use glow-in-the-dark paints, so it's gonna be a new experience. Maybe, you know, I'll find a way to get the glow even brighter, and I'll share it with you guys, obviously. So I hope you enjoyed this video of us kind of really going into details with the Crisco rainbow glow-in-the-dark paints. I'm a little bit disheartened, but honestly it's a process. I'm probably gonna have to go ahead and layer this 3 to 4 more times off camera and really show you, but at the same time it's hard to capture glow in the dark. This kind of experience is really better seen in person. So I won't be able to really describe to you what I'm seeing versus what you're seeing, just for the fact of the GoPro is not exactly meant to capture glow in the dark essence. If we had maybe a higher quality camera, you can maybe see it, but just off the rip, this is probably the best you're gonna be able to see. But I really wanted to do this review because I haven't found one on any YouTube channels or anything. Even Crisco himself doesn't really give a full in-depth explanations. I don't know whether it's because maybe it's his language barrier or so, because these are made in Italy, and he's from Italy, I believe so. And we even paid in like with the conversion from European euros. It was 130 euros converted into American dollar. It was about 141, including shipping and such. So make sure you take that into consideration. You will be basically kind of converting American dollars, and if you're from Europe already, you know, go ahead. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want any more details, or you want to see the progress of the painting, everything will be on Andromeda Studio 953 account on Instagram. If you want to follow me personally, my Instagram should be somewhere floating down below. It's Nahayoung AG. And thank you, JD, for being the cameraman and behind the scenes and such.
Yeah, no problem.
He's basically the coffee guy, the light guy, the glow in the dark guy, and he's been a huge help. This is actually a really big project of ours that we're really excited about, and it's been taking it's just the preparation of it's been like a month, because we waited for these for about 2 weeks, and now I just finished the draftments of that, and I'm just about to crank out into the painting, so I can't wait for you guys to see that. But without further ado, I hope you enjoyed that, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and also to ring that bell for our next video. If you were here for my October speed drawing videos, if you were wondering why I haven't been doing some speed drawings, it's because I've basically been preparing for this. I had to take care of all this, buying the supplies, and kind of going to the city, talking to the people that I was doing this for, and also getting the actual drawing done. I digitally vectored it, then I kind of traced it over using the guidelines, basically kind of AutoCADing it that I learned in school. I didn't document that process, but I kind of regret it now because I figured some of you don't know what it's about. So in the speed painting video, I will kind of briefly explain how to do it. So please let me know how you would like to see the speed painting. In the October, we kind of just ran through the whole process very quickly, and some of you kind of told me that you wanted me to kind of slow down and show how it's done. At the same time, some of you just kind of liked how quick it was. Because of the size and how complex it's going to be, it's probably going to be a very long video if we just do the whole entire thing. So please let me know in the comments down below if you would like to see it in segments and maybe slow down in some parts so you can see me painting in real time, or if you just want, you know, a marathon and just be really fast, maybe the fastest ever, and just get through the whole thing. So please let me know what you think about that, and thank you for staying to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing of the Crisco Rainbow Glow in the Dark paints. And if you would like to see more, we got a gaming chair video unboxing from Black Friday. We went out and there was these $200 chairs that were going on sale for $99, and our backs were killing us, so we decided to buy some new chairs. So we're really excited to open those up, and we will document the whole process of us unboxing it and trying to make it, and hopefully it comes out good. So if you're interested in that, make sure to ring that bell so you get notified of our most recent uploads and such. Some of you were saying that you weren't seeing the uploads or the notifications. That's probably the reason why. Don't forget to follow us on our social medias, and we will have them linked in our description box below. And without further ado, I hope you enjoy that, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!